Joining us now, I have founder and executive director of National Security Institute, Jamil Jaffer. Jamil, it's always good to see you. There's so many different angles and layers to this story, right? From your national security lens, what does this mean for America? You know, you have the president, you have lawmakers coming out and saying, hey, the U.S. wasn't involved with this, but obviously we're Israel's strongest ally. So how might we be pulled into this, you think?
Yeah, you know, Marky, it's been an interesting series of events over the night. When the strike first happened, Secretary Rubio came out, made very clear the U.S. wasn't involved, wasn't engaged. The president waited for a number of hours until the early morning when he finally said, look, the U.S. has supplied weapons to Israel. There's more to come. So there's an internal debate going on in the administration of how much credit to take or not take for this strike and how involved we want to demonstrate to the world that we were. And I think there's a debate going on, in part because I think the president is concerned that there might be strikes in the United States, terrorist attacks and the like. That's been a common Iranian refrain, a common Iranian effort to respond to these things. And so we'll see how this plays out. But as of right now, last night, the Iranian government launched about 100 drones towards Israel. Most of those were knocked down by the Israeli defense systems. We don't know the exact damage those caused, but it looks like, once again, not a major response as yet from Iran. But I think we'll see developments over the next few days. And Israel said, Marky, the attack isn't over yet. They may strike more sites in Iran.
Yeah, and as Blake and I were talking about before the break, you kind of have to wonder what kind of power struggle is happening right now behind the scenes in Iran, with top generals being taken out and communications being hit too. We were also discussing this attack took place on the eve of what was supposed to be the 6th round of nuclear discussions this weekend. Do those even happen now? And if they do, how does this escalation impact what is or isn't on the table?
Right, that's a great question. I mean, look, it looks like these strikes, the negotiations are continuing forward this weekend in Oman. We'll see if that actually happens. But of course, this new pressure on Iran will cause them to go in two directions. They'll either feel like they're under significant pressure and got to make a deal. That's what the president's trying to push up. But we may also see Iran say, look, we're out. We're not going to do any negotiations when we're currently being struck and our nuclear sites are being attacked. So we'll see what Iran's response to this. There'll be a big question. My guess is the weekend's negotiations will be put off for a while, and then they'll come back to the table and we'll see where things go.
And let me ask you something that we haven't quite touched on yet. The magnifying glass is so much on Israel, Iran, and America right now, of course. But it's also imperative to think about our other adversaries who are watching this moment play out in real time. You know, China, Russia. Do they try anything major in this moment with so much focus on the Middle East?
Well, I do think there's a lot of fear that Russia or China might want to become involved in this because of the relationship they have with Iran. We know, obviously, in the Ukraine fight, Iran has been providing drones to Russia. And so we'll see if they get involved. Russia made some statements about the strike in support of Iran. But I think at the end of the day, if everyone's smart, Iran doesn't want to fight with the United States. It's not a fight they can actually win. They know that. Russia doesn't want to get into a larger war, given all the losses they've suffered in Ukraine. And, of course, China has played sort of a middle ground. They've tried to get involved in the Middle East. They've tried to be influential, but they haven't sought to put direct military assets on the ground. Of course, things could change. But as of right now, unless a bigger conflagration starts between Israel and Iran and the U.S. gets involved, this thing is likely to play out where Iran and Israel trade a few strikes, and maybe it goes away. But of course, given the importance of nuclear programs to the Iranian regime, they may go further. If they do, we'll see what Israel does, and that could trigger a larger confrontation.
Yeah, of course, last night's strike, just a tipping point here. A lot more developments to come today. Jamil Jaffer, you've covered the gamut with me this week. Thank you for all of your time, and have a great weekend.